Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I thought I'd do a very quick video to help you understand a particular aspect of the psyche of some ex-Muslims. Well, maybe many of them. So this is about how we see they're so desperate when it comes to undermine the veracity or the truthfulness of this Islamic religion of our faith, Islam. So whether it be in relation to science, history, whether it be in relation to the character of the Prophet ﷺ, they would resort to the Quranic commentaries instead of what the Quranic text has to say, because it suits them. So they would go and stick with the medieval Quranic exegetical works instead of relying on what the text has to say on its own merit. Of course, back in those days, we have our scholars of Islam who explained the Quran. Some of them, when it came to natural phenomena, they explained the Quran in the light of the signs of the day. There is a scope of interpretation that is possible. But what we're seeing is, when it comes to the interpretation that can be given based on the linguistics of the Quran and the context of the Quran, you'll find our critics somehow are very negligent or deceptively avoid wholeheartedly because they know it will go against their thesis. A case in point is Surah Al-Tariq, in which we are told that apparently semen comes from the backbone and the ribs. But does the Quran say that though? The Quran says, يَخْرُجُ مِنْ بَيْنِ السُّلْبِ وَالتَّرَائِبِ. Does it come from the backbone and the ribs? Is that what the Quran is saying? No, the Quran is saying in between. The idea that it comes from these two things is coming from the commentaries, not from the Quranic text. Of course, our Quranic commentators may support this with other contextualization, but why is it that our critics not allow what the Quran is saying on the text itself? Because they know it will go against their whole idea of the origin or the extraction or the emanation of semen, if indeed it referred to that. So, out of desperation, this is what they would do. But what I want to highlight to you is this today. But when it comes to other times, they will not go to the Quranic commentaries. They will abstain from using and utilizing any of the Quranic commentaries or accepting them. Why? Because they know that our Quranic commentators have explained it in such a way that they have no room to have a different interpretation. And these interpretations were acceptable, reasonable, and valid. But our non-Muslim friends do not want to accept those interpretations, obviously, for a reason they understand very well. Because when the Quran says, min bayna, in between these two things, what is that place it's referring to? Because it's not referring only to this two particular thing, sulb and tara'ib, backbone and ribs. It's referring to a place in between, or places, or area in between these. Do you know what those places are, or what this place is? Stay tuned for the detailed explanation in DawahWise, coming soon to you, inshallah ta'ala. Until then, be wiser.